Welcome to Woody Wednesday, and this time we're talking about the 3 pillars of happiness and success. So yes, I figured out life, at least my version of it. I've given this a lot of thought and what matters, what's what, and I thought I'd share where I am with you guys, because everyone defines success a little differently, but most people, it seems like, don't define it at all. So I'm gonna give this a go. Family. So when I say family, I don't even mean family. What I'm really talking about is your family, but really all the relationships with the people that matter to you. A lot of my happiness, my current state of affairs is rooted in where I currently stand with all the people in my universe, right? Like, how am I doing with my wife? How am I doing with my daughter? How am I doing with my staff? How am I doing with my friends? I picked family because my 3 pillars are all going to start with F. But one of the big ones is your personal relationships. I was reading some time ago about where happiness comes from, and the core of it was does money buy happiness? And there were plenty of happy people who had no money at all, and there were plenty of unhappy people like Notch who have plenty of money. And really what it's about, and if you guys don't know the Notch thing, Notch wrote Minecraft. He sold it to Microsoft about a year ago, and he is a billionaire now. Billion with a B. Endless money. And he went on Twitter and talked about how he doesn't know who his friends are, that people, everyone he meets, he has to worry about their ulterior motives, that it's just, he's not able to find happiness. That, he said that he did everything he could to make sure his staff at Mojang, company Minecraft, was taken care of, but now all the ex-staff hate him. And it's like, man, this guy hasn't achieved happiness, and he's crushing it in finance, but he's losing it in family. I know that I know that he got divorced as Minecraft exploded, and I have no idea what was behind that divorce, but I do know that it's a personal relationship that he probably valued really highly that didn't go well. So if you want happiness and success, then all those personal relationships, the people that make up your family, blood relatives or not, that's one of the pillars that you need to focus on and put work into. The next one, try to neaten up my handwriting for you people. Finance. Family, then finance. I have been both rich and poor. There's a spectrum of rich, I don't know, but I'm good. And I've also been poor. I lived in a low-income housing unit, this apartment. The guy underneath me was a drug dealer. He seemed to specialize in dealing to younger kids who were 12. He beat his wife until the police eventually pulled him away because he beat her too much. I was poor. I would look at orange juice in the refrigerator, or not in the refrigerator, at the store, and think, man, someday I'm gonna be able to buy orange juice anytime I want. Someday it won't be like a family planning session to decide whether or not we need new towels for the house. We'll be able to just get them if we need new towels. What bad finances do is they create stress, and they make fixing your finances own your time. You guys, if you watch these every week, you've heard me talk about debt. Debt being when you promise your future to get something for now. If your finances are a mess and you're deep in debt, then they own your time, right? The universe, the world, the bank, the whatever controls so much of your time that it sucks. People think about what they want, or what they would do if they were rich, right? You know, if you had $12 million, what would you do? You know, and you know, would you have this car? Would you have this console? Would your TV be that big? Like, what would you do if your finances were awesome? And the thing that I like most about having finances in check is that you get to own your time more. I made a commentary one day about how one of the coolest things was sex during the middle of the day, right? That's awesome, but what it's really about is like I don't know, not having someone else tell you what you're supposed to be doing during the middle of the day. It's really about, you own your own business, it's just what I do. It's not that I work less, you know, the joke about an entrepreneur is that there's someone willing to work 80 hours a day so they don't have to work 40. And there's some truth to that. But the fact that you sort of own your own time and you can pick and choose when they are, the biggest thing about having your finances in check is that it's less stressful and you control you. That's the big part. The last thing, fitness. So by fitness, I don't necessarily mean your rock hard abs, but I'm talking about your health in general. And family, finance, and fitness make up what I think of as the three pillars of this stool that holds up your happiness and success. If you crush it on one or two of these things and the others failing enough, then you don't have it made. You know, if you guys have watched all my videos, you've heard me talk about Dick. Dick was rich. He might have been worth 9 digits, right? $100 million. He earned his fortune back when phone books were like the big thing. He figured out how to make phone books that competed with the phone company. And he improved the way phone books were done. He added color to them. Phone books were previously divided up by utility lines, and he changed them to be divided up by like natural borders. If you think about where you live, you might say, yeah, I tend to never go shopping on the other side of that river or those railroad tracks or that highway overpass. And he would understand the layout of the land and how businesses would appeal to the customers that they would actually go to. And he just made a better phone book. He added color. He changed the size of the phone book so that you could put them underneath the seat of your car. These were just ideas that might seem obvious now, but they weren't at the time, and he got really, really rich out of it. He also had a loving wife, and you know, he had a great family, but his fitness was terrible, and he's dead now. When I knew him, he had to breathe. Apparently, he was fat. He was so fat that he became, I don't want to say wheelchair bound, because he had like this motorized scooter instead. It was pimp, but he always had to be on oxygen because being so fat overworked his heart. And I'm not a doctor, but this is how they explained it. Being so fat overworked his heart, and he was a smoker, and these things combined to ruin his oxygen transfer. And because of that, by the time he was 50s, which to you probably, if you're young, sounds like forever, but when you get older, 50 doesn't seem like it's supposed to be the end of your life. So he died early because he only had 2 of those pillars sorted out. You don't have to be Mr. Olympia to have your fitness in check, but you do have to have your fitness in check. And family, finance, and fitness are, to me, the 3 pillars of happiness and success. And there's one more that I'm unqualified to talk about, and it's faith. I personally don't really have a relationship with God. It's worse than that. It's more like, from my chair, most of it seems like easily disproven myths, and I'm really uncomfortable with the idea that Like this is an all-knowing, all-powerful being that needs your money. Like it smells of scam to me. That and the fact that so much of the stories and tales in the Bible, or probably all of them, are so easily proved as false or impossible that that I have a hard time getting into it. My father says I wasn't given the gift of faith, but it is undeniable for me that there are people who do get joy and peace out of their faith. So I've evolved to the position of, if that works for you, great. You know, that's awesome. It's it doesn't seem to be my cup of tea, but I'll give faith a question mark and make it kind of optional for you. I think that I feel pretty happy and fulfilled and successful without it, but there are people who wouldn't. And if you want to change this from a stool to a chair and put 4 legs on it, then that's fine. That is how I define happiness and success. And I'm hoping that you can look at this and maybe it helps you define it too.